other countries should be allowed to live in Australia?
Yes, at school we're taught that it promotes economic growth and that it's good for the country, it provides employment, and I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think they should, but I don't think they should overdo it, you know, by letting a whole lot of migrants come over and live here. I mean... Oh, well, it really depends on whether... I mean, like, I get annoyed when you see them coming around and taking all our jobs over and, like, other nationalities driving around in Mercedes and everything. I mean, it's fair enough, but if they're going to take over the whole of Australia, it's so annoying.
Yes, I do, because then we get to know other people and what their food's like and their traditions and things like that.
Yes, I do, actually. I think if the countries they're coming from, say Vietnam or Cambodia or other places, Singapore, I don't know which places, are under threat or they're refugees, thousands of refugees going over to Thailand from Cambodia, I think that they should be able to leave and try and find a better life.
I don't really think so, because there are too many people from other countries, and soon one country from another country will probably invade us, and they're having too many babies.
Yes. Why? Because everyone should be allowed to live where they want. The world should be free.
Some pretty tough views when you consider that 25% of the population, that's 1 in every 4 of us, were not born in Australia. Hi, I'm Jerry Sont, and welcome to the first antenna for the year. We're off and running. In today's show, we take a look at drag racing, meet the star of a great new TV series, and hear from David Lee Roth. But first up, let's meet 2 of those Australians who are not born here. It's pretty hard to imagine what it must be like to arrive here from another country, to a new language, a whole new way of life, and worse, to know that you can never return to the place you once called home. Lucy Din and Tuan Pham are 2 young Vietnamese who arrived here after the Vietnamese War. Lucy with her whole family, Tuan with his sister.
I'm Lucy Din. I live in Bankstown, Sydney. I arrived in Australia when I was 3 years old. I can't remember anything about when I arrived because I was too small then. I live with my grandmother, she's here. My father, and my mother, my big sister, his name is Maria. My other big sister is Trang, and my little sister, Cecilia.
Nước cho bà để bà làm dâu. Ra con tưới nước cho bà làm dâu.
My grandmother came to Australia 5 months ago. She can't speak English very well.
Hôm nay con đi học con làm được bài không?
Có. At home, she cooks the evening meal because my mother goes to work and she comes home late. Grandmother does the gardening at home and she looks after the chickens.
We still reserve all of our tradition and culture, and also we still believe that relationship between children and parents and is very important, because now we sacrifice all for them. So in the future, we just hope that they we never ask them to repay what we spend time for them and sacrifice for them, but at least they will look after us.
Anh phải chạy từ Sài đến chỗ Premier Department nữa.
I like pop music. I like In Excess, George Michael, and Wham, and Billy Joel.
Right.
My name is Tuan Pham. I came to Australia from Vietnam about 4 years ago.
How do you get on with the other kids at school?
I get with another kid and sometimes they make trouble, but I just talk to them and I don't want to have trouble with teacher, and they just go away.
What sort of trouble?
Like they want to fight and they make me angry sometimes.
But I'd have Y-E-L-L-O-W, then I'd have I-S-H. I'd have 9, wouldn't I? Sorry? Do you know how to spell it? Y-A-C-H-T-S. Only 6, sorry. And what about this yellow thing? If I can't have yellowish, what can I have?
Twine's a pretty good guy. Well, he mucks around at the playground a bit. He doesn't like being hassled much about he's being Asian. And I don't hassle him. I just talked to him a few times. He's a pretty good guy. He doesn't hassle anyone else, but if anyone hassles him, he gets pretty cranky. And he's pretty good at school.
If somebody comes up to him and they say something to him because he's Vietnamese and all that, and he gets angry, but he doesn't hit him or anything.
A couple of kids wanted to fight him before, but and he just fight him and beat him because he's a pretty good athlete. You know, he's pretty muscly.
I go to Vietnamese school on Saturday. It starts at 2:30 and it finishes at 4:30. I play with my sisters and that because I don't know the children at the Vietnamese school. We learn how to write, read and how to speak properly. I feel Australian mostly because sometimes I don't know the Vietnamese language.
Do people ever treat you or your family differently because you're Vietnamese?
Sometimes there's children at my school that pick on me sometimes, but I just ignore them.
The Vietnamese students have a reputation for hard work because I think that to overcome the language barrier, so they have to work harder and they have to improve themselves. My daughter is a very hard worker, not just hard worker, but very hard worker because sometimes she spends up to about 11 o'clock at night to study. She just wishes she will become a doctor in the future, but it depends on how she goes.
Where did you learn to be such a good artist?
I just saw someone to do it and I said I like to do this and do that and I try and I make it.
So nobody really taught you?
No, I saw my brother do before, do craft, and I just look at him and I think to myself and I say, one day I can do it. I just like Australia because they help my country a lot.
Now, to help you with your writing, I'll just get you to talk to each other about it first. So you're going to be A, B, A, B, A and B, all right? So between 5 and 10 things about yourself to help you, okay? Do you like to tell me?
I like sport a lot. When I first come here, I couldn't speak much English. We all have English lesson once a week after school.
The boys and my husband and myself live like stable family, and we look after the boys. Tiến sắp chén ra bàn đi Tiến.
Yeah.
Để đi đói bụng rồi nè. Mainly I do the cooking. I look after the house, and sometimes the boy help me to do the cooking, and the boys do ironing or washing clothes themselves, and they keep their room very clean because if they don't, they will lose pocket money. Mất vệ sinh rồi, muỗi tới rồi, hè tới. His family, he escaped with his sister and his brother, and he stayed in refugee camp in Indonesia about nearly 1 year, and he came to Australia. His mother died when they was in refugee camp, and his father and some sister and brothers still in Vietnam. Twin been living here with us nearly 3 years. Before he came to live here, he stayed with his sister and her family. But he didn't get on well with his sister, and he moved many different places.
I think that my family is the young family and also the young settler in Australia. And I think that Australia is a beautiful country. And as a citizen, I think that all of my family have to contribute something to Australia. By doing so, we have to first to improve ourselves, and all of us is working very hard for that. And my children study hard to improve themselves, so in the future they can contribute more to Australia.